Thanks for coming to my studio. This is going to be a very brief tutorial on how I made the House Stark Direwolf leather patch. This is the base image that I used. The next image is the tooled image before any more paint. As we start out, transferring the image to the leather it looks simple, and it's simple in practice, but it just takes time to get good at this part. There's many different ways to transfer images to leather. Some people use tracing paper, and they'll trace it on, and then they'll flip over the image with the graphite, and they'll rub it into the leather. I find that doesn't really work that well for me. A lot of what I do is I will draw out or take the image, modify it, and then photocopy it and layer it together until I have an image that is scaled to the end product that I want, using the lines as kind of a framework. And you'll also see in this is that I try to keep everything as straight as I can by using push pins on parts of the leather that won't be affected by small holes. Sometimes you don't have that as an option. And then here, getting ready to do the tooling, or the cutting with the swivel blade. The swivel blade techniques vary. This is a much heavier swivel blade with a very small beveled blade. Also make sure that your swivel blade, nice little yawn there, sorry about that, is always sharp. And I'll show you here in just a moment me sharpening my swivel blade. This patch is really one that I have done so many times I can't even remember. Here's my stropping block with a little bit of jeweler's rouge on it. This is the first time I have ever used paint for the entire patch. Most of the time what I do is I'll use either black or tans, and my wife suggested that I use some of the metallic paints that I had gotten and ordered from Anglus. And really great paint. If you get a chance to try them out, I would highly recommend it. You always see people using these exact same paints for painting tennis shoes. There's nothing better for all those sneaker pimps out there that want to make some really nice shoes. I don't really use airbrushes or anything like that when I'm doing this. It's all done by hand. The metallics are kind of pearlescent. They have a whole line of pearlescents as well, but I don't necessarily like the end look there. I like using dry brush techniques, and to get that that more three-dimensional look to the whole piece is really what I'm trying to go for. But most of the time what I've ever done in the past has always been with dyes. Now I will use paint for the eyes and the teeth, but everything else was dyes. So this is the first one I've done in quite a while that really was all paint. I did use highlight at the end. That's an EcoFlow product that is a water base. It just kind of flows into the lower sections. Here's a little bit of black. I use copper, silver, pewter, and bronze. So basically the full gambit other than gold. Just didn't use the gold. I'll keep that one for the House Lannister lion. Of course, film does not really do the piece justice. Here's a nice little roller embossing tool that I've had for years. I love this thing. It adds really a very simple flair and really just makes the piece come together. Another great Tandy product. Highly recommend checking out Tandy. See what they have to offer. They have classes and stuff. Everything that you see in this video, other than the paint, I got from Tandy. And transitioning. Now this is kind of an important stage. When you apply the highlight, even the paint, even though the paint is technically a sealed surface, it will still pick up color. So what you see me doing right now is an EcoFlow product called Satin Sealer. And there's super sheen and back and forth. Now this is the highlight coat right here. So this is the highlight, which is called Smoke. And what I do with this is I just paint it on, let it fall down into the low sections of the piece, and then just work it back and forth and pull some out, put back on, and then just, try to get the teeth whiter, the red of the eyes done, and then just try to make an organic kind of like used kind of weathered feel to it. Even though it's been sealed, it's a stain. It's not a dye. It's a stain that will stain stuff. It will definitely discolor stuff. It's really great for weathering. If you want a pair of boots and you want to make them look like they're all beat up and dirty, this stuff is great. It's water soluble, so you can add it, pull it off, add it, pull it back off, seal the product, and then seal over it. I always try to make layers upon layers because those layers add to the general feel of the piece. You can use a dauber, which is a wool dauber. You can use a paintbrush. You can use your fingers. If you use any type of towel, paper towel, or like the red rag you see next to it, the actual texture of that towel will transfer through to it, through the highlights. It takes a little bit getting used to. On the edge there that you see me going around, all I'm doing is wetting the brush, cleaning it and wetting it, and then just using a paper towel to draw off the extra. I recommend letting it dry and going back at it, and then see, there's the end product. A lot of that material was put on that was eventually just removed. Here's the bag choice. Found this on Amazon. Got it all prepped up, put the patch on it, said, ooh, I like the color, everything's gonna work. Of course, I check with 3 other people in my household to make sure that it is. Then I just go in, drop it on my sewing machine, and away we go. Use a little bit of white PVA glue to hold the corners of the patch. I used to use barge, but I found that was overkill, especially with the stitching that I do. Just way overboard. So I just use a little bit of PVA glue, some weights laying on top of the leather to make sure it lays nice and flat, drop it on my sewing machine, and pick the thread and go. And here's the finished piece. This is the best part right here. So when you just pop the buckles, pull the tape, and clean up all your stitching, and there you go, finished piece. And great little bag, great for a laptop, and thanks for watching. Thanks, bye.